So let's take a look, Pisces. I'm going to talk about the nodes first and then each of the cards and the placements. This placement, I'm going to be going from the earthly realm, matter, all the way up to, this is called the crown, Kether. This is about pure consciousness. Usually it's that consciousness filters down into matter, but I'm going to be going up the scale. So this is called Malkuth, and it represents life on Earth. It represents the four elements: air, earth, fire, water. So this is things that we experience here in the 3D, here on life on Earth as we know it. And then the next one up is our emotional world. This is Yasod. This is governed by the moon. This is governed by the earth. This is represented by the moon. So this is foundation. It's about what are our emotions? What is our subconscious? What is just below the surface in terms of if this is what's on board, on the surface, firma terra. This is what's just below the surface, what's cooking beneath the surface, our emotions, the moon. Then the next two, Hod and Netzach, please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing these correctly. I'm just sort of getting into this. But this has to do with splendor. It's ruled by Mercury and communication. This has to do with victory, and it's ruled by Venus. So these splendor and victory, which sort of communicate through our emotions to get to us. And then this here is Tippereth. This is representative of beauty, and it's governed by the sun. This is sort of, if you think of life here on Earth, the body. This is the subconscious. This is the conscious mind. Sun, moon, body. And then these two cards here are governed by Mars and Jupiter. This is the more Mars energy. This is called Gebura, and it's about severity. It's about order. It's about, desire. All these Mars-ruled elements like, war, desire, going forward, structure, order. I really think of the Emperor here with that placement. And then over here we have mercy, which is Chesed. And this is Jupiter governed. So it's about blessings. It's about things that expand our world, things that are gifts, things that make things bigger. If you think of this as contracting, this is expanding. And these are polarized energies. And then as we go higher into higher consciousness, this is Bana, understanding. So that's governed by Saturn. It has to do with lessons and structure and, our understanding of how we come to understand something. And then this is Chokma, which is wisdom. So these, between wisdom and understanding, those are the last two steps that we take before we get to Crown Heather, which is a pure consciousness energy. So let's go through these. What I see happening for you here in February, Pisces, is the World card. And that is, it's so funny that we have the World card on the World's placement. Life here on Earth. It really means that you've graduated to another level, Pisces. You've completed something. This is the last card in the major arcana. And you can see here that she's sort of dancing in the sky. It's like completing a lesson, going through the graduation, completing the journey, up-leveling. That's really how I'm reading this card. And it's being supported by all the fixed signs. Just like I have here on this map. It's actually funny. We've got Leo and Leo, Taurus and Taurus. Aquarius is here, which represents the person. And Scorpio is the rising phoenix. These are all the fixed signs. So it represents the stars in the fixed celestial sphere. So it means that you've got support from all the four corners of the universe. And it's this wreath of laurels, too, that's saying you've achieved it. And there's victory here. You've come full circle. You've completed. You're ready to go to the next level. There's something that potentially from last year that you have completed, released some karma, and that's why you're free. But that's where you're at in the physical world. You've completed a cycle. You've up-leveled. You've graduated. It's sort of like saying, here's your wreath of laurels, job well done, we're going to take you to the next level. I also believe with lessons of karma that we keep repeating the same lesson until we learn it, until we master it, and then we get taken to the next level. It's sort of like passing a driving test. If you can pass this test, we're going to take you to the next level of mastery and skill and knowledge and wisdom. So there's some way Pisces, in which you've passed the test, you've graduated, you have completed something, and you've released some cycle of karma. Then what's up here in the moon space, this is, again, Yasod, this is the foundation. This is what's below the surface, and we have Ace of Cups in reverse. So what it's saying is that there is some new love that is possible, but that you may be fearing, doubting, or resisting it. This could be a new relationship, like I was talking about with that new moon coming in, or even the full moon in your 7th house. It's saying that it's here for you, and it can bring you great peace. But with it in reverse, there may be some fear, doubt, or resistance to letting it in. There may be some residual things from whatever cycle you completed here that you're a little wary, you're a little hesitant about it, but it's still, your cup is overflowing. It's going to make you happy. It is these emotional waters, and it's the start of something new. It's beautiful, and it's illuminated. This lotus represents enlightenment. I'm also seeing that with this card, the world. When you graduate to the next level, you get another level of enlightenment, and it brings you a lot of peace. This could be a creative project, or it could be love. But whatever it is, you may feel like it's just in delay, or that it's not quite the right time. You're thinking about it, but it's not quite the right time to begin it, or you're just questioning it. That's actually the biggest resonance I'm getting with that card right now. You're questioning whether you can begin something new, or something that has begun. Can you continue with it? Is it really the thing? And then on the left here we have Devil in reverse. This is in the splendor position, the Hod position, and it's ruled by Mercury, so it has to do with communications. And what I'm seeing here is that with the Devil in reverse, I actually like it in reverse there, Pisces, because it's saying you're giving up any communications that feel like it's controlling you. So whether it's believing or speaking lies, like if lies are coming to you, you're saying, nope, sorry, devil, I recognize you. I'm not going to let you control me. Or vice versa. You know, you're being, devil in reverse usually has to do with about getting clarity, or releasing yourself from something that felt like an addiction, felt like something that had control over you. Like, for example, if you always apologized in your speech, you always tended to notice that you had a habit of always saying sorry. You might be giving that up this month. Whatever it is that has to do with fear, doubt, restriction, obsession, falsity, anything that you give your power away to, Pisces, especially to do with your communication. For some of you, this is going to be giving up gossip, for example, or giving up participating in any sort of negative speech about yourself or others. It's going to be really about communicating the truth and only tolerating the truth. Devil in reverse says, I don't give my power away anymore, especially in regards to your speech or your communication. You're releasing yourself from something. Something may have had a grip upon you, and you're saying, you know, you're clearing away the clouds in a certain way. This is like a heavy thing hanging over, and you're saying, no, I want it to be illuminated. I want it to be light. I want it to be clear the way forward. I want my speech to be clear. I want to receive only clear speech. And then on the other side, where we have Venus, which is the position of love, it's the position of victory, things that we can hold, things that we value, we have Page of Cups. So this is my puppy love card. It's a card of infatuation. This could be that you have feelings for another water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but I'm really reading this as you, Pisces. And whenever I see this card, I always ask the question, can you remember what yes feels like? Because this is the young side of us. This is the emotional, tender, fun, joyous, spontaneous is really the word for this card. Spontaneously emotional card. So this card can, you know, laugh at a drop of a dime. It's a card that it just says whatever it's on its mind, says whatever it's feeling. Like the words I love you can come rolling out of Page of Cups' mouth really easily. They can cry, they can laugh, they can experience any emotion because they're just so spontaneous and present. Think about how you felt as an adolescent, as a teenager, and think about what brought you joy and how full of passion and emotion you were. it's basically a raw, fresh energy. That's why I call this puppy love or infatuation. It's wearing your heart on your sleeve, Pisces. So what you're valuing is this sort of young, loving affection and feeling, but there's some sort of thing that's saying you may not trust it. There's this bridge between Page of Cups, which is very innocent energy, and Devil in reverse, which is very challenging energy. And this Ace of Cups, this offering of the heart, is what bridges them. It's what is the solution. And this is letting in love. So Ace of Cups is new beginning in love, new emotion, new passion, new joy. And getting over whatever fear, doubt, or resistance you have towards that will let in this Page of Cups energy. So let's see what else is going on for you, Pisces. We have, in the conscious mind, in the Sun position, we actually have the woman of the Sun, Queen of Wands here in reverse. So this could potentially be a fire sign person who is presenting challenges to you, Pisces. This could be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius that is just being a little bit bullheaded or overly domineering, arrogant. Those are the low sides of Queen of Wands energy. So you could be struggling with someone who is a fire sign, or this could just be your energy, Pisces, that you're feeling a little bit challenged in terms of your vitality, your confidence, your boldness. Again, you may just be stepping back and thinking, yes, this is something I want to go forward on. This is a cup of love I want to either receive or offer, but I don't know if it's the right time. I have a little fear, doubt, or resistance about it. So this being in the center here, you know, in the Sun position, the woman of the Sun, the authority of the Sun, it's solar plexus energy. So for some of you, meditation, focusing on the solar plexus, your confidence, your boldness, this has to do with courage, has to do with the French word for heart, cœur. So it means strengthening your heart, feeling bold and confident because your heart is full and centered. So I'm really getting with the Sun energy. It's sort of like the Sun is at 70%. It's not quite at 100. There's some sort of residual, again, fear, doubt, or resistance that you're needing to push through to get to your full vitality, your full courageousness, your full authority. Queen of Wands is she's very sassy. She's very action oriented. She takes no prisoners. She just goes for it. You know, she goes for it and she knows what she wants and she gets it done. She gets results. She's very confident. She's very bold. So there's a way in which, Pisces, during February, you might be, this energy is here for you, but you have to just clear away whatever is in the way for it to come through. It's like a dirty windshield. You just sort of have to clear the film off that windshield, and then all this bold, courageous, vital, enterprising, action-oriented energy comes through for you. And this may come with it. What else do we have? We have, in these two positions, we have some coins cards here. We have Severity, which is the Mars-based, it's Gebura. So this is 7 of coins. And this has to do with patience and waiting. Trying to decide if you want to take action towards something, if you want to keep doing the same actions that you've been taking. The reason I'm using that word is because the Mars energy, Mars is all about desire and action. So what this is saying is, do you want to carry out the same disciplines that you have been, or do you want to change it? 7 of coins is a real card of patience, waiting, and assessment. It's sort of like leaning back and looking at the harvest that you've planted, that you've been tending to, what you're going to reap, excuse me, from the harvest, and assessing whether you want to continue planting the same thing or if you want to change it up, like change it to a different crop. If you've been planting strawberries, do you want to plant corn instead? It's really taking a moment to say, is this something that I value? Is this something that I desire? Do I want to keep putting my actions towards this? Or it could even just be reviewing your actions and saying, how's my discipline towards what I'm getting in my results and my rewards? Do I need to implement more discipline? Or am I happy with the results that I'm getting? Are they in line with my desires? So that's a good thing to be asking. It's sort of like saying, take some patience, take some time out to assess whether your actions are in line with your desires and the results that you're getting here, especially financially, especially in things to do with career, especially in things to do with your money, finance, career, job, productivity, creativity, all of that, anything that has tangible results, Pisces. And then Mercy, Chesed, this is the Jupiter ruled card. So this has to do with blessings, things that come in that are gifts, blessings, things that expand you, more knowledge. This is saying that you're not necessarily right now willing to put in any more work towards something. Normally in the upright, 8 of coins means whistling while you work, being happily engaged in a creative pursuit, creating abundance through, repetition of the same. He's cranking out all these different coins because he does it again and again. He's sort of an expert artisan or master, and therefore he reaps a nice living through doing this. With these two together, with 7 of coins and then 8 of coins in reverse, what this is telling me is that for some of you, you may be saying, okay, my results are not necessarily in line with my desires. I don't know. You might, if I want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, is what I'm getting from 8 of coins in reverse. Some of you may be planning a change up, or you're just taking a moment to pause and look at and see, okay, if I keep doing the same thing over and over again, I'm going to keep getting those same results. Do I want that? I'm kind of getting for some of you that it's no. You're seeing that there's I'm getting for some of you that there's a limit. You're seeing that there's a ceiling to what you can crank out with the current way you're doing things. Maybe you're thinking about, okay, if I expand into planting 3 different crops, maybe that will bring me more abundance. I'll have to work less and collect more. Work smarter, not harder is kind of what I get with 8 of coins in reverse. So just think that it's an opportunity to think that sort of thing over. Are your actions in line with your desires, Pisces? And are you tired of doing the same thing over and over again? Are you satisfied with your results? It might be time to take some of the ideas about action and put them into place. Have some confidence, have some boldness. Don't doubt yourself is what this is especially saying to me. Don't have the courage and don't have doubts, especially in the middle of February, as it has to do with your creative pursuits, your finance, your career, and also to do with love, because it totally makes sense that you've up-leveled from this world. You've gone through a certain level of karma, you've learned a lesson, you've graduated, and here's an ace, which is a new beginning. Totally makes sense right after the world card. So it's saying be open to love, be open to a new creative pursuit, be open to a new beginning that is passionate and joyful. And then as we work our way up, there's something that you may be having a hard time making a decision on, especially, I'm kind of getting that you may not have all the facts, Pisces, because this is the placement of understanding, and this is the Saturn placement. Saturn has to do with what our challenges are. So you may be challenged with making a decision on something. Do I value this or do I value that? What time and money, do I want to have more time? Oh yeah, but I also want to have more money. So it's kind of like saying, or it could be anything. Do I want to go with this person or do I want to go with this person? Do I want to go left or do I want to go right? Do I want to stay where I'm at? Do I want to go somewhere new? It's really just about making a choice between 2 things that you value and trying to balance them out, personal life and career, for example. And with 2 of coins in reverse, it's saying to me that here are 2 things that you value and you're having a hard time making a decision because you may not have all the facts. It's in the understanding position. It's in the teaching lesson position with Saturn. It's trying to teach you something. But I get the sense that you have to collect more information before you can actually make this decision. I think that you could be struggling with a decision here in February. You feel this way, but you also feel this way, and they're very diametrically opposed. I'm kind of seeing you need to collect more evidence, you need to collect more understanding, you need to do more research, whatever it is that's holding up your decision. It also says, maybe you can be flexible. maybe you can go between these two things. Like, say if some of you are a single parent, but you also want to get out there and develop your personal life, it's sort of like saying you can wear both hats. You're just trying to figure out where that balance is. And the lesson of Two of Coins is to be flexible, be able to sort of roll with things as they go up and down. He's usually standing on one foot, and he's the juggler, so he's able to be flexible and adapt to changing circumstances. So get more information, Pisces, with whatever you're tangling with here. It's wanting to bring you to a new level of understanding is the function of why that's a challenge right now. And then with your wisdom placement, you have King of Cups. So you're learning how to be a more loving partner, Pisces. This is the King of Cups. He's the perfect partner, the perfect husband. Again, whether male or female, this is someone who is reliable, dependable. You can see that you're going from what you value here in your Venus position, this is what I want, this is what I like, Page of Cups, to a much more mature version of it. And this is in the wisdom placement, which totally makes sense. The King of Cups is very wise. He considers other people's points of view. He considers other people's emotions. Page of Cups is a little bit more immature, you know, and it's wonderful with this sort of delightful, spontaneous energy. But what's beautiful about King of Cups is that he considers the other person. He has a lot more experience and knowledge about emotions. He has a lot more control of his emotions. He's more dignified. He's more just mature in so many ways. He makes better decisions than Page of Cups. He will always follow his heart, he or she, and whereas King of Cups will listen to their heart and go into it and make a good decision based upon everyone who's involved. So there's a maturing here going on between what you value and wisdom here. It's a wonderful placement for King of Cups energy. You're developing into someone who is more emotionally wise, as well as being this wonderful partner to someone else, being emotionally stable in your own emotions so that you can offer that cup of love to someone else. Beautiful energy, Pisces. Both of these cards are representative of you. And it's also that you may be maturing through deciding that you don't want to do the same thing over and over again. That's also in this line. So this point of assessment, especially with I don't want to speak in a negative way, I don't want my communications to be toxic, that's going to help you make decisions about things, learn a lesson on something, learn how to balance things, learn how to be flexible on things. There's a real focus in some ways on this card with, are your desires matching your results? This is a point of reassessment. So interesting parallels going on here too. And then the Kether Crown card is practicality. Knight of Coins. He takes his time making decisions. He knows the final value of something. He takes really cautious steps. You know, he makes sure that one step is solid before he takes another step forward. So there is some slow energy with the Ace of Cups in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, and then Knight of Coins, but it's slow and steady wins the race, is what I get with this. You may be questioning timing of things, timing to take action, timing to receive or offer a cup. You kind of need to see things develop is what I'm seeing here. You need to see things unfold. This is the highest consciousness that you can have or tap into this month. And this is all about practicality. Waiting and seeing, weighing the options, pros and cons. That's what Knight of Coins does all day. He says, you know, what's the benefit? What's the negative? What's the pro? What's the con? What's the bottom line? And he comes prepared. So this is a card of preparedness, a card of practicality, and a card of having real sure footing as you move forward. It's slow movement, but it's very solid, stable, practical movement. And it is a card of moving forward.